Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me for this month's Object Talk. My name is Rhiannon and I'm a museum manager at the Jewish Museum London. Every year on January the 27th, we recognise Holocaust Memorial Day. This year, the museum will recognise Holocaust Memorial Day with a public event on the evening of Tuesday the 24th of January and a public candle lighting on Thursday the 26th of January. We hope you can join us for these events. Information can be found on our website. Each year, the Holocaust Memorial Day Trust chooses a theme to guide the day, and this year's theme is Ordinary People. To honour this theme, I want to focus on a Jewish family living in Vienna, Austria in the 1930s, the Menninger family. We are very lucky to hold a large number of documents and some objects donated on behalf of this family. All the information we know about this family we have learned from these documents. Unfortunately, not all our questions can be answered. This is object number 2000.26.9 in our database. It is a gold star, one of 3 donated to the museum on behalf of the Menninger family in the year 2000. This star is kept in our stores. Another can be found on display in our history gallery. We don't know for sure who wore it or where, but we know it was connected to the Menninger family and their relatives. The star is made from soft dyed yellow material with black ink creating the Star of David shape. In the center of the star is the word Jude, the German word for Jew. Gold stars like this were a key part of the process of identification, dehumanization, and persecution of the Jewish population of Europe. First introduced in September 1939 after the German invasion of Poland and spreading in the following months and years, this badge became mandatory to all Jewish people over the age of 6 within the German Reich from September 1941. But today I'm going to talk about the Menninger family, the family that donated this item. I'm going to talk a little about their lives and experiences living under and escaping from Nazi-occupied Vienna in the 1930s, their lives before the war, and some of the items that were generously donated in their name. These pictures show Laura Menninger as a baby and Susanna Menninger when she was about 10 years old. Sadly, we do not have any photos of Walter Menninger. Born in the early 1900s, Walter and Laura Menninger lived in Vienna, Austria in the 1930s. Walter worked as a research chemist. His father, Joseph, ran an award-winning photographer's studio in the city centre. Laura, sometimes called Lucy, was born in Munich, Germany, about 250 miles away. In 1933, Walter and Laura were married, and in 1937, their daughter, Susanna, was born. At this time in Vienna, the Menninger family, who were Jewish, were living in a period of increasingly dangerous and violent anti-Semitism. In September 1935, the Nazi regime in Germany began to introduce the Nuremberg laws. These laws were anti-Semitic and racist, and over time removed all citizenship rights for Jewish people living in the German Reich. In March 1938, Austria became incorporated into Germany as a union referred to as the Anschluss. Immediately following this union, there was widespread anti-Semitism and political violence. Jewish people were attacked on the streets, their belongings were looted, and their businesses and properties were seized. Anyone who opposed these actions were arrested. It was around this time that Walter Menninger was imprisoned at Dachau concentration camp. This is a postcard sent by Walter Menninger in November 1938. Following Kristallnacht in November 1938, approximately 11,000 Jewish men were imprisoned at Dachau concentration camp, most for a few weeks. Many were released after they proved they had plans to immediately emigrate. This is the period in which Walter Menninger was imprisoned at Dachau. While Walter was imprisoned, Laura was busy selling everything they had that was not already confiscated in order to scrape together enough money to escape. When Walter Menninger was released, Walter and Laura, along with their young daughter Susanna, made immediate plans to leave the country. Walter, a chemical engineer, was able to get a job in India with travel visas for him, his wife Laura, and their daughter Susanna. In May 1939, the family began their journey to safety. This is the ticket they used to travel by boat from Amsterdam in the Netherlands to Calcutta present-day Kolkata in India via Colombo, Sri Lanka. The journey was long, and the family had no idea what life would be like once they reached their destination. The family lived in India from 1939 until May 1947, when they travelled by boat to the east coast of the United States of America. In 1949, Walter Menninger secured a job as a research chemist at British Paints Limited, based in Newcastle. He moved to the UK and was soon joined by his family. Susanna spent the rest of her childhood in Newcastle and graduated from Durham University. In her early 20s, she emigrated to New York City with sponsorship from an aunt that lived there. Walter continued to work as a chemical engineer in Newcastle until retiring to Lugano, Switzerland, with his wife, Laura. We still don't know who wore the star donated on behalf of this family. We know it wasn't Walter. His imprisonment at Dachau was before stars were introduced to camps. We know it can't have been Laura, as the family left Vienna 2 years before stars were forced on the Jewish population in Vienna. We know it can't have been Susanna, as she was too young at the time, leaving Europe when she was 2 years old. It's possible that the stars had been worn by other family members, perhaps Laura's mother. Unlike her daughter, Berta Falkenfalk, born in 1877, did not have the opportunity to leave Europe in the 1930s. We don't know much about her life, but we do know that she was transported and imprisoned in Theresienstadt in 1942. She was liberated in 1945 and spent some time recuperating in Switzerland before moving to Sweden to live with her other daughter, Laura's sister, Irma. I am grateful not only for the donation of these objects and the opportunity to remember this family and their journey, but also for the opportunity to continue to ask questions about the objects in our collection. We may never know who was forced to wear these stars or where exactly they came from, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn about the Menninger family through this incredible donation of objects and documents and remember their lives and the lives of their extended family. This Holocaust Memorial Day, I'll remember all those who did not have the luck to escape, those who lost family members and communities, and all those who were murdered during the Holocaust. Thank you for joining me for this month's object talk. I do hope you can join us again online or in person at the Jewish Museum London.